Welcome to Essentially Soulful. I'm Betty, and I'm here with DeeAnna. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects every single one of us: the hidden toxins in our everyday products. You know those distinct smells when you walk into certain stores? The ones that hit you immediately? Well, there's more to that story than you might think.
Yes, those smells you're talking about, that's actually a perfect example of what we need to discuss today. Most people don't realize that what they're smelling could be a complex cocktail of chemicals. We'll be talking about making a lifestyle change. Making conscious choices is about a reframe. You'll learn what to avoid, but it's about moving beyond just avoiding harm so that you consciously choose what actually supports you and the planet. This topic became important to me when I began modifying my own wellness lifestyle. I began using pure essential oils, eating more whole foods, and using green personal care and cleaning products. When I trained to become an aromatherapist, the information I'm sharing was very helpful in my own journey.
Okay, so once a person becomes informed, making conscious choices about products is like aligning with your values.
Precisely, it becomes an act of personal sovereignty. Each choice is an affirmation of your vitality, turning that simple daily routine into, well, an embodied practice of real self care, not just slapping something on.
I like that, an embodied practice. Before we dive deeper, I'm curious, how many products do most people use in the morning before leaving the house?
That's such a great question. Most people use between 9 and 15 different personal care products every morning. And that's before we even consider the air fresheners, cleaning products, and other household items they encounter.
That's quite eye-opening. And each of those products could contain multiple chemicals, right?
Yes, research shows that across about 73,000 cosmetic products alone, we're looking at around 88 different chemicals. And that's just what's been identified so far.
Let's start with something many of us use: air fresheners. They seem harmless enough, but what's the real story there?
Well, conventional air fresheners are actually one of the most concerning products we have in our homes. They release volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, and in many cases, formaldehyde. There's a reason why some experts now say that fragrances are the new secondhand smoke.
That's a powerful comparison. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Just like secondhand smoke, artificial fragrances affect not just the user, but everyone in the space. When you use an air freshener in your home or office, everyone breathing that air is exposed to those chemicals. And many people experience immediate physical reactions: headaches, respiratory issues, skin problems.
So these immediate reactions some people have, they're actually like warning signals, aren't they?
That's correct, Betty. These immediate reactions are our bodies telling us something isn't right. But what's even more concerning are the long-term effects we don't immediately notice. These chemicals, particularly endocrine disruptors, can interfere with our hormone systems over time.
Okay, so endocrine disruptors, could you break that down for our listeners?
Think of your endocrine system as your body's chemical messenger service. Endocrine disruptors are like spam messages that confuse this system. They can mimic or block your natural hormones, potentially affecting everything from metabolism to reproduction to mood.
That's a really helpful analogy. So what can people do about air fresheners specifically? Are there safer alternatives?
Yes, absolutely. Natural alternatives like essential oil diffusers, opening windows for ventilation, or using baking soda for odor absorption are great options. But here's something important: even products labeled unscented aren't necessarily safer.
Wait, really? Even unscented products can be problematic?
Yes, because unscented often means other chemicals have been added to mask the natural scent of the product ingredients. It can be described as the masking paradox, using chemicals to hide chemicals.
That's fascinating, and it leads perfectly into personal care products. If these issues exist with air fresheners, what about the products we're putting directly on our skin? Our lotions, shampoos, cosmetics?
That's actually even more crucial to consider, Betty. When we breathe in chemicals, our respiratory system has some filtering mechanisms. But when we put products on our skin, those chemicals can be absorbed directly into our bloodstream.
And I imagine this is especially concerning for products we leave on our skin rather than wash off.
Exactly. Things like body lotions, deodorants, and leave-in hair products are particularly important to scrutinize. For example, many of these products contain parabens, which are preservatives that have been linked to hormone disruption.
I know a lot of our listeners might be feeling overwhelmed right now. How can they start making safer choices?
The key is to start small. Remember, this is a lifestyle change, and change doesn't happen overnight. Begin by looking at the products you use most frequently. Check the ingredients list. If you can't pronounce most of the ingredients, that's a red flag. Also, be particularly wary of the term fragrance on labels.
What's the issue with fragrance specifically?
The term fragrance is what's called a trade secret loophole. Companies can include hundreds of different chemicals under this single term without disclosing them. It's essentially a black box on the label.
So when we see fragrance on a label, we really have no idea what's in there.
That's right. And what's particularly concerning is that many of these undisclosed chemicals have never been tested for safety. In fact, in one analysis of personal care products, it was found that a single fragrance can contain up to 14 chemicals that aren't listed on the label. You may also run into products that say something like, with pure essential oils. That's a coy marketing strategy. If fragrance is on the label too, that simply means they added essential oils to the chemical cocktail.
I think this might be a good time to talk about some specific examples. Could you share a few common products where people might be surprised to find harmful chemicals?
Sure, baby shampoo is a shocking one. Many contain 1,4-dioxane, a probable carcinogen. Even basic moisturizers often contain phthalates, which are linked to reproductive issues. And some popular cosmetics contain pesticide derivatives.
That's particularly concerning when we think about products marketed for babies and children.
It sure is. Children are especially vulnerable because their bodies are still developing. Their skin is also more permeable than adult skin, so they absorb these chemicals more readily.
Let's help our listeners take action. What should they look for when choosing products?
First, look for products with fewer ingredients. The longer the ingredient list, the more potential for problematic chemicals. Second, avoid anything with fragrance or parfum listed. Third, look for certified organic products when possible.
Are there any specific ingredients that should be immediate red flags?
Yes, watch out for parabens, phthalates, triclosan, and anything with PEG in the name. Also, sodium lauryl sulfate and formaldehyde-releasing preservatives like DMDM-hydantoin.
Those are quite complex names. Are there any good resources or apps that can help people navigate this?
There are several great apps that let you scan product barcodes to get safety ratings. The Environmental Working Group's Healthy Living app is one I often recommend. They also maintain a comprehensive database of product safety information.
What about natural alternatives? Could you share a few more effective substitutes for common products?
Of course, coconut oil makes an excellent moisturizer. Apple cider vinegar diluted with water works well as a hair rinse. Baking soda can be used for deodorant. And for cleaning, vinegar and water is often all you need.
These are such practical solutions, but I'm curious, for people who might feel overwhelmed by making all these changes at once, what's a good first step?
Start with one category of products, maybe your personal care routine. Choose the product you use most frequently, like your body lotion or deodorant, and find a safer alternative. Once that becomes comfortable, move on to the next product. Then swap with Soul. When you do replace things, actively choose products with non-toxic, truly nourishing ingredients. Look for organic, wild-harvested, biodegradable options if you can. Things that support your health and the planet.
That sounds much more manageable. It's about progress, not perfection, right?
Exactly. Small changes add up over time. Remember, every chemical you avoid is reducing your body's toxic burden. Think of it as making deposits in your health savings account.
That's such a helpful way to think about it. Before we wrap up, could you share your top 3 tips for our listeners?
First, become a label reader. If you can't pronounce it, research it before using it. Second, prioritize changes in products that stay on your skin or that you use daily. And third, remember that simpler is usually better when it comes to ingredients.
Those are great tips. And what about for parents who might be listening? Any specific advice for them?
For parents, I always recommend starting with baby products. Look for fragrance-free options, Use plain water for cleaning when possible, and be especially cautious with products used on broken skin, like diaper rash creams.
This has been incredibly eye-opening. Is there anything else you'd like to add that we haven't covered?
Yes, I'd like to emphasize that while this information might feel overwhelming, it's actually empowering. We have more choices than ever before, and companies are responding to consumer demand for safer products. Your choices matter. Practice mindful minimalism. Remember that every single product you buy is essentially a vote for clean water, fair trade, brands that are transparent, and regenerative farming.
That's such an important point. We do have the power to make changes, both for ourselves and the market as a whole.
Yes, we do. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about making informed choices and gradually reducing our exposure to harmful chemicals. It's really about fostering this daily practice of embodied consciousness that honors yourself, your space, and the globe.
DeeAnna, this has been very informative.
Thank you, Betty. I've posted a couple of articles in the show notes with more references and resources.
Wonderful. And to our listeners, thank you for listening to Essentially Soulful. Remember, small changes can make a big difference in creating a healthier environment for yourself and your loved ones. Until next time, stay mindful and stay well.